Hello, welcome to the Bettendorf Public Library Take-Home Workshop. Today, we will be making fruit stamped tea towels. These are the items you'll find in your kit. We have an apple, a paint fabric medium mixture. If this needs stirring a little bit, you can do that with something like a toothpick or a cotton swab, something like that. You will also have a tea towel and a marker. The first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is to cover your workspace. I've got my workspace covered with some paper. This craft can definitely get a little messy, but I think you'll find that it's really fun and worth all the mess. You will need to have a paper plate, a paper bowl, or something similar to pour your paint into. The other thing you'll want to have handy is paper towels or some kind of towel, just in case you need it. So first thing I'm going to do is put my towel out of the way so I don't spill on it. I'm going to get out my paint and fabric medium mixture. I'm going to carefully open that and pour that in my little bowl that I have here. Next thing I'm going to do is to put my paper towel down and get ready to cut my apple. So I'm going to put this out of the way for a moment. All right, our next step is going to be to cut our apple. I'm going to try to cut right down the center because I would like to leave the seed impressions in there because I think they'll look nice when we stamp. So, looks like we got some seeds in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully remove the seeds because I think that'll look nice when we stamp it. It'll look more apple-like. Now the other half of the apple, I think I'm just going to cut in half this way. So maybe we can do a just an apple slice view. And I think I'll take this seed out. And do the same with this one. Just like that. So I'm going to set these aside for a moment. Okay, next I'm going to get out my towel and I'm going to determine where I'm going to want to stamp on the towel. Okay, entirely up to you. I think I'm going to stamp at the bottom of my towel. So I am going to fold it so it's going to lay like it would if I were hanging it up on my oven door. But it is entirely up to you how you want to do your stamps. Now, you can do a couple of different ways. You can place either wax or parchment paper in between here so it doesn't transfer. What I'm going to do though is I am just going to tuck this behind and I'm going to stamp right here. So there's a few different ways that you can use your apple for stamping. You can either dip it right in here and stamp like that, or you can grab a brush. I've got an old paintbrush right here that I can try painting it on. The other thing I'm going to try first is do a couple of trial runs before I actually put it on my tea towel. So I'm going to get a paper towel out, double that. And then I'm going to try first my apple slice. And here is where my little seed was. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try this one by dipping. So I'm going to just lightly stick it in my paint and fabric medium mixture. And I'm going to make sure it's covered. And I might even take this brush and take out a little bit where that, there it is, where the seed should be. Okay, this one's a little gloppy. I'm going to let it drop off here. Okay, and then I'm going to put that on my I'm gonna put that one down gently. Oh, a little too much paint on that. What's nice about these is you can always, you'll get multiple stamps out of one coating if you like. Okay, this one, I can see where my little apple stamp was. These are getting a little better, more clear as I go. So that means to me, I'm probably using a little too much paint when I dip that in there. Okay. And there we go. I think that one's my best yet, okay? So I'm gonna put that aside for now. I'm gonna practice with my whole apple. See what that looks like. There's my whole apple. This time I'm gonna try the paintbrush method. So I am just painting on here. I'm gonna be careful as I paint to avoid those little seed markings right here, because I think that just makes it look so neat to have those little indentations where the seeds were. Okay, and we are going to try to get the stem in there. I don't know if we'll be able to, but we're gonna give it a try. Okay. So again, I'm gonna put this on here. I'm just gonna press down real gently. We hold it for about 5 seconds and then carefully pick it straight up so I don't get any excess paint. So this one looks like maybe I didn't have enough paint. This is why we're trying it out on a paper towel in advance of putting it on our tea towel. So I'm gonna add a little more paint to it. Let's give this another try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pull off gently. Oh, that one does look better. So I can see my seed spots in there. This one, yeah, I'd probably want to add a little more paint to it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And gently pull up. Okay, not perfect, but you can practice until you get it right. I would say you can probably get at least 8 to 10 stamps out of here. Okay, so I'm gonna move this off to the side. And you'll see right away why we always want to put something down here so it doesn't get all over our workspace. I put a fresh piece of paper down so that I don't get any transfer on my tea towel. So like I said, how you do this is up to you as the artist. I'm gonna do mine at the bottom. You'll see me doing it, I'm gonna move this around so it's not on an angle, but I want to have mine at the bottom of my towel. So I'm gonna start off right here. And I am going to do this nice little apple. And I'm going to dip it in the paint. And if I think that has a little too much paint on it, I'm gonna dip it on my paper towel, just to get rid of some of that excess paint. And so I'm doing that off to the side, but you can see what I've done. Okay, once I think it's about the right consistency, I'm gonna just check and make sure that my seed part is still not painted, and I'm gonna give this a try. Here we go. Carefully, 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 I'm gonna pull this up. Okay, and that one is a little, it's a little lighter. It's okay with me. For what I'm doing, if you want it to be darker, you can feel free to redip your apple and press. I'm going to do another apple half, so I'm gonna put more paint on my apple. And we're gonna put it like this and press down. Now off screen, you can't see me, but I am wiping my fingers off because I don't want to get that red paint anywhere else on my cloth. And I'm gonna pull up. Oh, I think that's my favorite one so far. All right, now I'm gonna attempt with my half apple. I am dipping it right in there. When I look at it, I see it's a little bit gloppy, but yet I didn't quite have enough at the corner. So I'm gonna go back and dip that corner again, and then I'm gonna blot that off on my paper towel over here. And so if you're wondering what I'm doing when I say I'm blotting it off on my paper towel, you can just see it in the corner of the screen. I'm doing exactly that. I just don't want to get it too close to my towel. So that's why I'm just being extra cautious. All right, I am ready to put my full apple on my towel. So let's see. I'm gonna put that one right here. And I'm gonna press and hold. I'm wiping my fingers off on the outside of the screen because I don't want to get that apple transfer anywhere on my towel. So I'm pressing down and we're gonna lift up carefully, 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 carefully. And there it is. Okay, so on that one, I might put a little extra paint on this apple for next time. And I can kind of see the spaces that didn't transfer too well. So I'm gonna just go right over that. And we're gonna do this one again. So I'm gonna press down, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carefully, gently. I'm gonna pull this straight up. And there we go. It's kind of like a little farmhouse look apple. If you want to put your stem in there, if it didn't transfer, you can do that with a brush, a toothpick, or a cotton swab, just if you would like to. There you go. Okay. You can feel free to do as many prints as you like on this towel. I'm gonna maybe do another half of one. And there we go. Okay, so in our next step, we're gonna let this dry for a little bit. Then I'm gonna come back with my marker and write the word apple there. You can choose any word or phrase like mom's kitchen, country kitchen, whatever you like. I think I'm just gonna write apple. So I'm gonna let this dry for a moment and I'll be back. Okay, I thought this half apple looked a little lonely. So I'm gonna come over here and do another half apple right here next to it. There we go. Okay, again, that's one I do like. You can always touch up if you want it to be more uniform. The other thing you can also do is you can use other fruits that you may have at home or even try a vegetable if you like. And now I'm going to grab my marker, and we are going to write, I'm going to write apple here. Of course, you can write anything that you like on there. Now, once that is completely dry, to kind of seal the paint and the fabric medium on there, you're going to want to set the color using heat. You can do this by ironing on a high setting or by putting it in your clothes dryer on a high setting for about 30 minutes. After that, your tea towel is ready to use for decoration or in your kitchen. I would suggest you might want to hand wash or wash separately. We are heat sealing so that the paint doesn't transfer, but you can never be too cautious with something like that, in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed our tea towel take home workshop today. Thanks for joining us.